Hello, everyone. Bitcoiners, pre-coiners, no coiners, new coiners, Swan Force members, and today your families. Welcome to Swan Lounge, a weekly show in which you get to hang out with the Swan team and some of our friends from the incredibly exciting world of Bitcoin. Now, before we dive in, a couple housekeeping items. As always, we are giving away Jan Pritzker's book, Inventing Bitcoin, for free in an effort to spread Bitcoin knowledge. You can go to swanbitcoin.com/free book to claim your copy. We have it in 3 different formats. Ebook. We actually had a guy today on Clubhouse who was dyslexic, and we were like, "Hey, we've got an audiobook," and he was cheering. So get it in audiobook, get it in MP3, get it in ebook, whatever your format. Get the book. It's free and it's amazing. All we ask is that you pay it forward by sharing the book with at least 3 friends and family, but preferably more. And to all the Swan Force members out there, remember that if you look in your referral dashboard, you'll find a link you can use to send the book to people in your network. They will get the book and you will get credit if they sign up for Swan. And if you are not signed up for Swan Force yet, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. And the reason I say that today is because that's what my parents would say to me when I did something wrong and it hurt. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. So what is Swan Force? Swan Force is our referral program that lets you get paid to recruit new Bitcoiners. Go to swanbitcoin.com/enlist to get started. You'll earn 25% of Swan's fees on their purchases for 3 years, and your referral gets $10 of free Bitcoin when they open up an account with Swan. I'd also like to welcome anyone who is new to the show and to Swan Bitcoin. Well, what is Swan Bitcoin, huh? Quite simply, Swan Bitcoin is the best way to accumulate Bitcoin with automatic recurring buys, instant buys, and wires up to $10 million. We have the lowest fees in the industry for our services, up to 80% lower than Coinbase and up to 50% lower than Cash App. And we have incredibly fast onboarding. Go from 0 to Bitcoin in as little as 5 minutes. You can also pay yourself in Bitcoin. Why would you do that, you may ask? Well, because fiat money, the US dollar, is designed to go down in value. You're going to lose purchasing power year after year. Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million coins, and this will not change. This makes Bitcoin what we call sound money. And you deserve to get paid in sound money, not dirty fiat money. Nobody wants that. Simply pick a percentage of your monthly income that you want to convert, then set it and forget it. Time, folks. Time is our most precious asset, although on this episode we may say our children. But time is important. Bitcoin respects your time. Fiat money does not. That's why we're here, folks. Also, Swan is available internationally to individuals for instant buys with wire transfers. And if you've been paying attention to the news, given the massive wave of big-name investors and corporations taking large positions in Bitcoin and adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, we have launched Swan Private to meet this demand, our concierge service for individuals and entities looking to buy at least $100,000 of Bitcoin in the next 12 months. We are here to guide you on your journey and help you build generational wealth. And you can access those services over at swanbitcoin.com/private. Also, make sure to watch to the end of the episode because we have a special segment, my favorite segment, called Swan Force Fridays, where we'll put our guests on the clock and give them 60 seconds to give us their best Bitcoin pitch. Now, before I bring in our guests, you know what I'm going to say, folks. Come on. If you're new, you don't know what I'm going to say, but listen up. This is important. We need you to do this. Take your finger, grab your computer mouse or grab your phone and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. It helps us get seen on YouTube. It helps us grow the show, helps us grow the channel, and helps us reach more people so that we can spread the good word about Bitcoin. All right, as usual, I'm out of breath after the opening shill. So without any further ado, I think it's time for Swan Lounge, folks. Wait, everyone's muted. Don't say anything yet. Not yet. Almost. All right. Welcome, everybody. We've got a killer show today, a friends and family episode. I'm so excited. I've been trying to get this episode together for weeks and weeks. Let me introduce our guests real quick. Next to me, we have Daniel Prince and Lauren. Lauren is the host of the Once Bitten podcast, and Daniel is her dad. We've got Scott Sibley from Shamory.com, which we will get into in a bit. We've got Kavita Shanae and Magical Micah. Kavita is formerly a Fox NFL reporter turned award-winning winepreneur and now Bitcoiner. We'll get into that as well. And of course, Camilla Campton, who will be doing our Six Confirmation segment and who is our social media manager at Swan. And boy, I am excited for this one. How is everyone doing today?
We're doing great. Happy Friday, everybody.
I can't believe you got through that whole opening without, I don't know, taking a huge breath. Good job.
Breathing for later. Who needs breathing, you know? What was that, Camilla?
I said that you've mastered it.
No, I said I couldn't believe
episodes.
No worries. Yeah, it's taken some practice. You know, maybe in a former life I would have been a news host, a reporter. I could have done that, I think. But let's go around real quick. We've got some old faces, some new faces. We've got some young faces. Kavita, would you mind starting us off, telling everyone a little bit about yourself and about your daughter and your Bitcoin journey? And then I think we'll go to Daniel, and then we'll go to Scott.
Yeah, so I, like you said, am a broadcaster, TV host, and I founded Chenet Rosé, which is a wine from Saint-Tropez in 2017. It's over here, Chenet Rosé, for all the wine drinkers out there. And I have my little daughter here who I gave birth to as I launched the wine. And I always wanted to invest in stocks, and I never really pulled the trigger because I had this one bad experience with penny stocks back in the day. And this year with the pandemic, I started wanting to invest. And instead of stocks, I decided to invest in Bitcoin. And it's funny because a friend actually told me to buy Bitcoin in 2014. And I kind of like laughed it off, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, what is this thing? You know, like, no, I'm not going to put money into this. And I wish I had listened. So just watching the growth of Bitcoin, it's insane. You know, I feel like I'm late to the party, but I guess you can't win unless you're in, right? So my daughter, the story behind my daughter is she's 3 years old, and I randomly just asked her if she wanted to start earning money because she always asks me about work and she always pretends she's working. So I said, do you want to earn money? And what did you say?
I said I want money.
And did I said I will pay you in US dollars or Bitcoin, and which one did you want?
I want a Bitcoin.
Why?
Because I like Bitcoin.
But why do you like Bitcoin?
Because Bitcoin is good.
Why is it good?
I can own your Bitcoin.
Oh, I think she just liked the sound of it or the word, but she's smart, right? So she picked the one I would have chosen. And I think for a 3-year-old, they don't even really know what money and fiat currency is. So I mean, I guess if you teach them about Bitcoin early, it's just going to be like, you know, when you teach a kid about money 30 years ago.
Exactly. We love to see that. We totally did not do this episode just for the production value, people. Okay. All right. We've got real things to talk about. I've got the video from that here, but let's do that after the intro. So Lauren, forget Daniel. Lauren, who are you and who's why is your dad here? You're a famous Bitcoin podcaster, right? Oh wait, did I forget to mute you? Why can't I can't hear anything. Oh no. Uh-oh. Still can't hear you. Oh no.
Well, I just want to talk about how amazing. I can't believe how old is Lauren, and she has her own podcast.
Well, I'm making a bit of a joke here. So the podcast is I'll introduce them while they work on the audio. So Daniel has the Once Bitten podcast, one of my favorite pods, and Lauren always does the introduction and gets to ask the guests a question, which I think is really, really special, and makes for it really sets the tone nicely. Let's figure out this audio situation. You know what, Daniel, you want to try refreshing the page, and you can maybe come back and join us that way? We'll give that a shot. In the meantime, Scott, have you made the digital version of the game yet? You know my quibble with I live alone. Okay, I can't play the game by myself. So
You could actually. I haven't had people do it, but actually you can mine that chain yourself. But yes, the digital version one day will be out there, maybe with the help of somebody like Thunderjack over at Thunder Games, or does at Lightning and McGox. But yeah, there's that digital. But part of the reason, I think I told you this before, I went with the physical version to start with, is because obviously Bitcoin is so digital. I wanted to bring a sense of physical and realness to the space, especially for the kids who are playing. So that was kind of the first stab at things. It's been awesome. There's Lauren. She's got her game along the way.
Do we have audio? Lauren, you got to say something.
No, yeah, it's working now. Our audio is going up.
We're back. I love it. All right. So Scott, I think I jumped the gun a little bit. Who are you? What is Shamory? And then we'll move back to Daniel and Lauren.
Well, perfect. It's not often I get to go before Daniel. So I'm Scott Sibley. I launched the card game Shamory about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. So April 6th of last year was the first sale ever. So we're about 4 days shy. A couple of days after that is actually the 1 year anniversary of getting on Daniel's podcast. And that was the first podcast I ever went on. So a lot of anniversaries coming up here. And so where it all came from, my story is somewhat similar to a lot of people out there. The last bull run sucked me in, not just Bitcoin, but all the shit coins that are around it. Sorry for the kids that are listening, but it didn't take me long to dive away from those. And unlike some who might have just been turned off by the whole experience, I chose to just keep diving deeper. And over the, about a 2.5, 3 year period, I kept learning. And part of what I saw, and part of this comes, I have a background in the education space, not as a teacher, but in the ed tech industry. But I saw that kind of gaping hole, not for the adult learners, but for the kids. And, trying to onboard people, like whether it's a Lauren or Micah or others that are out there, but just a tool that families can play together. There really wasn't much out there. Obviously, there's the Bitcoin Rabbi book. There's BitPiggies. At the time, there wasn't Sats Ledger, but Sats Ledger is out there now, which is awesome. But there still isn't that much. And so I wanted to try to create something that could kind of close that gap. I have a almost 2-year-old who's at grandma's house right now, so she can't join us. But that was part of the motivation behind it, and creating something that my wife and I could kind of bring to her. And she can't play yet, but she likes, you'll notice the cards themselves have a bunch of fun little monster guys on them, which she loves just looking at and going around. So the game really plays off the SHA-256 and Bitcoin mining, but you don't need to know a single thing about that in order to play. If you've played the game of memory, you can play Shamory. Instead of having a computer use the energy to mine Bitcoin blocks, you're using your mental energy to match targets and nonces up. That lets you mine the chain. There's difficulty adjustments. There's the blockchain growing. And at the end of the day, while you're all individual team players or playing solo like Brecky, once that chain is mined to a height of 10, you're all winners because you protected it without getting an attack. And so that's one of the kind of cohesiveness that the game can bring as well, where all the miners, you want to be able to get as many rewards as possible. But at the end of the day, as long as those attacks don't happen, you're all winners. So that's the short version of the Shamory story.
I love it. Somebody in the chat was asking if it's available in Canada, and I believe it's available everywhere. Just go to shamory.com.
Yep.
We're gonna do I'll show a little bit of a video of some gameplay a little later on in the show, and I will order the game. I promise. I will play it by myself if I have to, but maybe I'll enlist someone who also has a pack, and we can play over Zoom or something like that.
There we go.
I guess to do that, we would have to ensure that the cards are shuffled exactly the same way.
I guess you could set it.
Yeah.
Or from talking to Brady the past few days, he offered a table in the Swan Lounge at the conference coming up. So if anybody's going to be there, my wife will be there. We'll be setting up. Hopefully Daniel and Lauren are able to free themselves of France. I'm sure he'll come and join a few games. And so we'll be there in person as well.
Love it. And we've got Pasha and Lily here. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us. So Pasha is a friend of Jan's, which I'm very glad for the intro. Hopefully Jan can join us. And Lily has her own show. She's an amazing host. I loved her Bitcoin show. It's now playing on our Bitcoin TV lineup. You can find it at bitcointv.network. I think I've got the video on there like 5 times because I think it's so amazing. So thank you for joining us today. And welcome, Lily. Welcome to your dad as well.
Sorry we're a little late.
No worries. You know what, Daniel, I'm sorry I cut you off, but you're a well-known face in the space. So I think what we got to do now is we have to play a 2-minute version of Lily's show. So bear with me as I play this. It's so good, Lily.
Hi friends, welcome to our show! Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital money. The good thing about Bitcoin is that it's decentralized, which means you don't need a bank. There will only be 21 million ever in the whole world. Bitcoin was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto. No one knows who it is. It's a mystery. How did it all work? I can show you with Skittles. These are all the Bitcoin. Teddy has them. Lily has them. Unicorn has them. Dolly has them. This is my wallet. This is Unicorn's wallet. We all have wallets. Dolly gives way to Bitcoin.
And so this represents the transaction. And stack it right here.
Take is only 1 Bitcoin. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Teddy. Now that's the blockchain. Everyone can see this, but it's all anonymous. So that's the difference of Bitcoin. Now let's talk about this fun stuff. Why is it so expensive? Bitcoin is secure, anonymous, and limited. So everyone wants it. That's why the price keeps going up. This is, I don't like these glasses on. I love Bitcoin, I love it, and skills. Okay, thanks for watching Willie Show. See you next time.
Oh, it's so good. So good, Lily. You're a star.
Yeah, you're a star.
Lily, I got to ask, because I've worked in TV and film as well, and sometimes it's hard to see yourself on camera. Do you like seeing yourself on the screen or no?
Yeah. She's a little shy, but she says yes. Okay. She loves. I mean, she doesn't really know the level of her popularity on Twitter. So, but she loves watching the videos when we play them back.
It's great. Please make as many videos about Bitcoin as you can.
Yeah, we have some exciting ones coming up.
We're very excited. Would you mind just introducing yourself a little bit and maybe talk about kind of where this video came from and how you found Bitcoin?
Are you talking about, should I do it or Lily? I don't think.
It's a family episode, both maybe.
Well, so the project kind of started out as like a quarantine project for us in August. We just kind of wanted to, like I work in TV, so I had all this like gear, like lighting gear and film gear at home. And we're just hanging out, and I'm like, oh, let's just do like a little Lily show. Why not? And she was like really little at the time. She wasn't even 3 yet. And so we did some like pizza and shapes videos, whatever. And then like the idea was like to kind of like make more complicated things as she got older. So then.
Well, I love you.
You love all my friends. That's awesome. So yeah. So then I decided to we decided to make a Bitcoin video because it's like something we're passionate about, and it kind of like the idea came from like, you know, just talking to a lot of people, like just friends and family who are not in Bitcoin, and sometimes like explaining it, and then people are like, I still don't understand it. And I'm just like, well, like, what if we...
I love all your
You love all their shirts? That's awesome. So I thought that, like, well, you know, to me, it's like such an easy concept. I feel like people just like overthink it, and it's like if we just have a 3-year-old explain it, like with Skittles and stuffed animals, like how much easier can it possibly be? So that was like one inspiration for it, and the second one is like when we talk to a lot of people, like a lot of people think that like you love all their eyes. So the other aspect of it is like people say like, oh, they associate Bitcoin with like dirty money.
They look kind of funny in the dark.
They do.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then I thought like maybe a good way to kind of like for people to change people's perspective on Bitcoin. You love the hats?
Yeah.
We got to get you. If you like the hat, we'll get you one for your next show.
Nice.
No, but
Can you say Swan Bitcoin?
I already got a hat.
You already got a hat?
You already got one? Okay.
So that's kind of the gist of it. But then also like to kind of like, I feel like it's important to educate kids.
Well, I pictures. They look kind of funny.
They do. So, you know, she kind of like, she understands some of the basic concepts, you know, but I feel like the earlier you start educating kids about money and finances, some things will register.
It starts to sink in, you know. It's
Yeah.
I think so.
Lily, what's Bitcoin?
Digital money.
Yay! So she knows some things. And what's the coolest thing about Bitcoin?
Digital money.
Digital.
Bitcoin.
Decentralized.
But it's funny, she started naming some of her stuffed animals Satoshi Nakamoto.
You know what's funny? Hold on one second. Hold on. I've got a stuffed animal to show you.
Yeah, what was incredible about Loie's video as well was that Michael Saylor retweeted it and said, if she can get it, anyone can get it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was a really cool moment, for sure. Yeah.
Wait, one second.
Let's not eat your let's not eat your glasses.
He's also Toshi. He's not quite a stuffed animal, and he's not quite a child.
Toshi.
But he's a puppy, and he's almost like my child.
It's replacing Baby Yoda.
I know. Hold on. Let's get rid of Baby Yoda for a second. Goodbye, Yoda. All right, Toshi. Hold on one second. Hold on. Okay. There we go. There's Toshi. Say hello, Toshi. I'm stacking sats so I can buy you dog food. Okay. All right. Hold on. Toshi's got to go back. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Say hi to Lily.
Hi, Lily. I'm fine. Do you like my pet?
I'm just telling you guys right now, my cheeks are going to go bad by the end of this episode because I can't stop smiling. Like, it just hurts already.
All right. So, folks, we've left Daniel here and Lauren here without a proper introduction. I think you should each introduce the other. Danny, you got to tell us who your daughter is, and Lauren, you got to tell us who your dad is, and then Lauren, if you'd like, you can ask everyone here a question as you usually do, but no pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What does your dad do in the Bitcoin world? Who is this guy?
He's a podcaster. The Once Bitten podcast, it is called. He.
Daniel's like, come on, I work hard on this podcast. You can do better than that.
That's kind of all he does. He likes stats.
He's also passionate about unschooling.
Oh
Yes.
yes, he is. Yes. He says that like school is prison.
I tend to agree with that.
What else do I call it? When Caitlin decides to go to school, but I have to take it to the.
Gibbs, yeah.
Very fair.
Now I need to introduce you.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is Lauren. She is my daughter. She is 10. She has a twin brother named Samuel. And she took an interest in my podcast project around probably episode 6, 7, or 8. I can't remember. I think Andy Edstrom was the first to face the toughest interviewer in the space. And now she's just usurping me from my own show, pretty much. Nobody wants to hear from me. They all tune in for the first 10 to 15, and then like the listenership just drops off the edge of the cliff. So I don't know where this is going anymore.
You got to do a mid-roll Lauren question also then, to bring the listenership back up.
That is a good idea. Although that might mean actually going and shaking her awake to come in and do the mid-roll, because a lot of the already right now we're at 10:30 in the evening. So.
Yeah.
Although, and show them the your choice of pajamas today.
Oh yeah, it's Swan.
Oh wait, hold on. I have a Swan here.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna wear this today.
There we go.
That's a solid choice. I feel like we're matching, kind of. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
that looks good.
I've got a Swan as well.
So yeah, we got some good merch here. We got Scotty's game. He was very, very kind to send it over. I him on the podcast, and we love it. It's been brilliant. I've learned a lot from it. When we started playing this a year ago, my knowledge about mining was very, very basic. That really, really helped. So Scott, that's brilliant. We've enjoyed playing it. I'm going to shield the Sats Ledger for MTC BTC as well, because this is a great product. Scott mentioned it earlier. If you guys go and follow him on Twitter at Sats Ledger, you get cool stickers and also some books there to help the kids stack sats. And somebody asked in the chat about Rabbi's book.
Yes.
This is what that looks like.
So you can actually find that. Well, first you can find Sats Ledger at satsledger.com. So that one's pretty easy. And the Rabbi's book is probably my favorite children's book, the Bitcoin Rabbi. It's just the bitcoinrabbi.com. Fantastic book. It's great. Actually, if you go online, there's also an audio, like a read through that's slightly animated. That's great. And we have that on Bitcoin TV as well. And to show myself just a little bit, and if you are watching Josie Bellini, my amazing illustrator, I wrote a children's book about Bitcoin in the style of Dr. Seuss, and I'm just waiting on the illustrations. So hopefully I'll be able to share that relatively soon. Now,
you should do like a Rick and Morty one.
I should do a Rick and Morty one. I'll think about that.
And the reason Lauren brings this up is because when Brecky came on the Once Bitten podcast, he did a great Rick and Morty impression for her, which she loved because of his brilliant meme from, man, when did you do that? That was a long while ago, the original one.
In 2018, I started making them. I would do, I would rewrite scenes from Rick and Morty, and I would redo the voices and have them talk about Bitcoin and crypto and things like that. And I got quite good at the impressions. So every now and then I'll break that out again. I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit here and there. The area of Bitcoin education. And now I am not a parent. I may have a swan on my head and a baby Yoda at times and a dog in the other room, but educating a dog is quite different from educating a child. And I've gone through it on the receiving end, but I'm not a parent yet, as I've said. So what I would love to learn, in speaking to all of you, is, what is your sort of educational philosophy, and how are you teaching your kids about Bitcoin? How are you teaching them about the world, the crazy world we're living in, and all those things? And I know everyone's at different ages, so it might be a little different. And also to the kids, I need to apologize. No kid likes when a parent is like, hey, I'm going to set you up on a play date with so-and-so. And I think that's kind of what this is. So you don't have to be friends with each other, okay? If you want to, that's great, but you don't have to. So why don't we start?
I want to be friends with all of them, though. That's the only exception.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just, you don't have to, but. So Kavita, if you don't mind, I'm gonna swap you with Scott. Have you started teaching Micah more about Bitcoin? What do you have plans going forward?
Yeah, so it's awesome because we're actually learning about it together. So obviously I do like a bunch of research and I'm like reading up on it all the time. I'm talking to people in the industry, and it's fun because when I teach her about it, it helps me understand it more. And so it's like something that we're doing together. But it's funny because I just feel like the kids get it more than us adults get it. I just feel like they understand it. It's easier for them to understand. Right, baby? So even though she can't physically touch or hold a Bitcoin like we're used to touching and holding cash, she doesn't know any different because she never did that before. So for us, it's really hard because I feel like older people want something tangible. Not that we're old, but I'm saying people like want something in their hand tangible. And so I think that and also the storing aspect of it, like, where do you store it? The whole wallet password thing. Like I wish it was like more like fingerprint, like my name. But besides the point, I'm still Bitcoin all the way, and it's fun because her brother is going to almost be 2. And so we're going to get him on the Bitcoin train too, which is exciting. Yeah. And we're investing in Bitcoin stocks too. So yeah, I think that we're learning together. I'm not a Bitcoin expert by any means. I go on Clubhouse and I go in a lot of the Clubhouse rooms on Bitcoin. I read up on it all the time. And it's just a lot of fun. It's something fun that we're doing. Right? Do you enjoy learning about Bitcoin? We're talking to you.
Yes.
Yeah? Do you like earning money?
Yes.
What did you do today to earn your Bitcoin?
I fold my blanket.
And what else?
And I shaved.
And what else? You have to do 3 things. What was the 3rd thing?
The thing was that I loved you, Mommy.
Oh. I think she gets extra Bitcoin for that.
I think for that, I'll announce it here. I've been giving her 5 Bitcoin a week. I'm going to up you to 10, girl. You get 10 Bitcoin a week from now on.
10 Bitcoin. Man.
Not 10 Bitcoin. 10 US dollars towards Bitcoin. Sorry, I wish I could afford 10 Bitcoin a week.
That's funny. So you said something interesting, or no, well, you said a number of interesting things, but something that kind of ties into what Daniel was saying in terms of unlearning. And I'm not sure if it's kind of the same meaning that I take from it. But when I went down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, I realized there was a lot that I had to unlearn. A lot of things that I was taught in school that I thought made sense at the time. And then I would look back and I was like, nope, not at all. So I think what's really special and interesting is that, if you're conscious of these things now, you can get to your kids before they've been brainwashed by, what's out there. So that's kind of a really, really interesting thing I don't know. I think it's a really interesting thing to think about. Pasha.
Also, just really quick, I just wanted to chime in. Another awesome thing that I love about teaching the kids about Bitcoin is that, everyone can use it everywhere. So it's kind of just like this thing that everyone can use and you're in control of it, which is fun. And I think children love that when they hear that.
100%. I wish it was something that I'd been able to learn about when I was younger. And it's, Bitcoin is different things to different people, and it's exciting no matter how you look at it. So, Pasha, I think you're at a similar level maybe as Kavita in terms of where Micah and Lily are. What's coming up for you in terms of educating about Bitcoin? How do you think about this?
Yeah, no, for sure. So we had to take her out because she's gonna steal my spotlight otherwise. So, well, it's interesting for us because it's like Bitcoin's been on my radar. You asked me earlier, like when I first heard about it and got into it. So it's been on my radar for years and years and years. Like it is for a lot of people. I just never really. It felt like it was out of reach in a lot of ways. Like I'm not a technical person. I'm not in the tech field. I actually first bought it when we were pregnant with Lily. So I kind of always almost say that she's the one that bought it. She's the original toddler. So you know, I think at this point, yeah, it's like she's 3.5. She's starting to kind of understand some concepts, but I always felt like, you know, like I grew up playing tennis, and you know, a lot of like there's some like famous tennis players that started when they were like 3. And at this point, it's like, how can you like really teach a kid to play tennis at 3? You know, it's just, you know, they're not gonna like swing a racket and hit a ball every time, but you can teach like basics, like, oh, did I disappear or no?
No. They changed something up. I was going to share something after this. And...
No worries.
Anyway.
So I feel like you can teach like some sort of like basics, and you know, some things will, like, kids are like sponges, you know, and you just never kind of know what's like what they're soaking in their little brains. So you know, it's kind of like I feel like, can I have a conversation about like hardware wallets versus like hot wallets with her right now? Probably not, but you know, but she knows what it is. She knows it's digital money. Whether she understands what that concept is or not, I'm not sure. But I think, I don't know. It was kind of cool to make that video, and you know, like her, like, kids in her daycare all saw it too. So, and I feel like people are showing it to their kids, and yeah, I think it's important. I think it's like it's their future, and you know, if you know, like, we're always like surprised that like, oh, they can work an iPad or they can work a cell phone, you know, at such a young age. So if they can do that, then they can maybe understand some basics of how Bitcoin works.
Definitely. I love that. All right. Let's go to Daniel and Lauren. But first, before we do that, Camilla, you've mentioned before, you know, you moved to Colorado, you and your husband and now she's gone. Camilla. Anyway, we'll come back to Camilla later. I was basically going to tell Camilla, she's back.
Yeah.
Camilla, I was going to say, if your husband is there, you should grab him and bring him on the show today.
He's not. I totally
all right,
would.
next time. Tell him we all missed him, and he should be embarrassed that he wasn't here.
Yeah, I'll know.
All right, let's go to Daniel and Lauren. Daniel, how are you, if you're not putting Lauren in the gulag, what are you doing? And how are you educating her about what is good money, what is bad money? Are you using games like Shamory? And then we'll go to Scott after this, and we'll talk about how the game works and get into all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know, actually, if Camilla, are you going to be running the crash at the Swan Lounge in Miami? Is that what you're going to be doing there?
I'm going to be doing whatever you guys want me to do. As long as I get to hang out with you guys and meet you guys, I'm all for it.
So excited.
Excellent. Back to your question, Brecky. So we have 4 kids. So we've got a range of ages from 15 and a half down to 10. Our oldest, she chooses to go to the local gulag, as I referenced earlier, which is a point of contention for me, but she loves it and she gets good grades. So that's all fine. You know, that's her decision. The other 3 kids prefer to be homeschooled, which is not really the right term. World schooled is probably a better term. That they're on a platform called GalileoXP.com, which was founded by Vlad Stan, who I have interviewed. It's a great podcast, actually, if you guys go back and listen. He's a Bitcoiner as well, and there is other Bitcoiners on this platform. Didi Taihutu, the Bitcoin family, the crazy Dutch guy that sold all of his belongings back in 2016 and traveled the world with his family, 3 daughters. They are also part of Galileo, and there's more and more Bitcoiners joining this platform. At the moment, there's over 200 students from all around the world, and they have teachers. They use the word facilitators because they don't like the word to teach. It's a self-directed education platform. So the clubs are put in place, so you can have a science club. Why don't you say? Yeah, this is your day.
Yeah, I got science club, math, history. There's also clubs that children run, like another history, a gaming club, animation club, amongst club, a load of other
Chess,
clubs.
cooking.
Cooking. Oh,
So they do all of this stuff on Zoom calls. And it's up to them which clubs that they want to join. Claire, my wife, and I.
You have to make us do math.
Yeah, so my wife Claire and I, we have a few guidelines, let's say, like, make sure you're doing the math club each week, because it's pretty fun with Sam, right? I mean, believe me, it's not like you'd be doing math like in school.
Sometimes the math in school was like funner.
You think so?
Yeah, like it was. I don't know. It just my brain felt comfortable with it. Just like, but like with Card Academy, it was getting harder and harder and harder.
Okay.
I was like, what?
See, I'm getting some real life feedback right here, so we can talk about this week and figure out, maybe there's a better path for you to.
I already got another math problem, so it's fine. Yeah, it's
okay, problem solved. Then. So how do we teach them about money? Probably by not shutting up about Bitcoin.
Oh my goodness, I was about to say that. Every day, like if they say something about like school, he just goes.
Yeah. What happens if there's news about the government printing money into the system? Do I get pretty angry about that?
You get very angry, and then you don't stop chatting for 1 hour.
Lauren, how do you feel about laser eyes?
Do you like those?
Yeah, maybe we can
Daniel,
be nice, so then he can be quiet.
All right, it's okay. We'll move back to these. So I think that's kind of like the important thing here is is just talking about these things and being open about them. And trying to be cognizant of them ourselves, like I love my parents, but I don't think they, like most people, like even me, like nobody, like didn't really take the time to think about what money is. Like it was just part of the fabric of our existence. And only now, because of Bitcoin, are many of us starting to question what money is and what is the place of what role money should fulfill in society, and who should make the money and where should it come from. And so talking about these things is important.
I'd like to just say one more thing,
Tasha, it's not school. You don't have to raise your hand.
This isn't a gulag. I just do want to just say one more thing, which is a huge thank you to the whole community that have supported the show and come onto the show, because when Lauren first started asking them questions, the time and the explanation that the people took to give to Lauren, first of all, they didn't have to give up the time to come on the show and then be faced with a 9-year-old question was pretty weird. But the way every single person has interacted with Lauren has been really helpful to me, and a big thank you to everybody that's ever been on the show, and it's very much appreciated. And she is learning on every 10-minute segment that she gets to speak to someone. It's going in, without a doubt. So thanks, guys.
Where do we find the pod again? Oncebitten.com? Oncebitten.com, folks. Go subscribe, leave 5-star reviews for Daniel or for Lauren. Doesn't matter. Just go.
For both.
I know. I like to stir up the pot. Sorry, Pasha, you raised your hand. Yes, you in the front row.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of like touch upon something that Daniel briefly mentioned is like government printing money, and how that like kind of relates to the next, like our next generation, like our kids. And a lot of times people talk about Bitcoin as like a anti-inflationary hedge. Is that like the proper terminology? I don't know. I'm not an economist, but like from my background, like I grew up in Russia, and I witnessed the fall of Soviet Union in '91, and I like witnessed firsthand hyperinflation. and how scary and dramatic that can be. You know, and that was a superpower. You know, like Soviet Union was a superpower. It was like, you know, people didn't think that something like that would happen, and I saw that like a ruble go from like 2 rubles to $1 to 10,000 rubles to $1 overnight. You know, and I think that like a lot of people live with this like kind of conviction that nothing's going to happen to $1, and you know, it's super strong. But we're seeing it like all over the world, like Argentina, Venezuela. You know, like where you know, government just fiat is just being devalued, and I think that's kind of like an important point that I'm making to myself, that if anything happens, like, I mean, we're seeing our government print trillions of dollars now. Like, who knows what's going to happen for the next generation. So I think that point is kind of like important as far as like kind of like to build Bitcoin funds as like a multi-generational like protection against inflation.
100%.
Suppose.
Yeah, that was good, Pasha.
Very
It's
well
so
said.
true. No, yeah, it's so true. A lot of people think that the US dollar is untouchable and that nothing will happen. But like you said, at the government, I saw a video where they're like, yeah, in the next 10 years, we can probably print $10 trillion more, you know, for infrastructure plans or et cetera. And someone else had said, you know, once the government starts doing this, they're not going to stop. And they're talking about it to us in real life, how, yeah, they don't plan on stopping. So it's important. Bitcoin is super important.
100%.
Also, who wants to carry cash around, by the way? Does anyone like enjoy carrying cash around? It's like a big wad. I have a little, I don't even wear a purse. I have this thing. I got my credit card in here. You know, I just signed up for a Bitcoin credit card. And for me, it's just like the convenience of not having to use cash, you know, and then obviously one day when we all want to spend Bitcoin, because right now I just want to hold it. It's just fun knowing that you can just spend it right there and then, you know, and it's just an easy transaction. I think that's a wave of the future. I mean, come on.
It is, although it does bring up some interesting, some conundrums though, and privacy is increasing on Bitcoin. But one of the benefits of cash, aside from the fact that it's like the fiat money, is that you can be anonymous, you know, and without anonymity, there's no freedom of speech. And so what we have to guard against is sort of this digital panopticon that's being built as we speak using digital dollars. So while I'm in favor of digital, I agree carrying around dirty cash is annoying. We all need to be cognizant, I think, of the need for privacy and to push that forward as well. Alrighty, folks, it is time almost, I think, for 6 confirmations, which is a segment from Camilla, which I actually have to download and upload. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to play it. So give me a second. Let me see if this is working here. Okay, we've got it. Beautiful. Camilla, what did you do for this video?
What?
No,
I wanted to make it fun because it's a little bit long and, you know, for visual entertainment. But it has to do with the confirmation, I promise.
Yeah. No, I'm putting 2 and 2 together in my head. Now I'm understanding what you're about to talk about. All right, I'm going to prep these things. Scott, would you do us a favor? Kind of give everyone a walkthrough of Shamory, and let me put you on the big screen. We're going to make you a star, Scott. You're going to make you a star. Hold on.
Perfect. There we go. And
Awesome.
only, like I said, my daughter is down the street at grandma's house, but everybody brought their own. So just give her a little airtime. She'll be two in a couple of months, so she's not quite ready to actually learn just yet. Besides looking at the monsters, like I said, but you know, she has her own little Bitcoin stacked away that my wife and I have for her, so she'll be ready to roll when that time comes. But yeah, Shamory is, for those who missed the beginning, a Bitcoin themed card game. It also happens to be STEM authenticated. So for those that don't know what that means, STEM is the acronym for science, technology, engineering, and math, also known as STEAM sometimes, depending on where you're getting at. But that kind of authentication in the long run, hopefully will help weave the game into the more traditional education space. Part of the reason Daniel and I have bonded over the past years, both while I have that traditional background with my day job, my wife and I also believe in the whole unschooling, world schooling, homeschooling, whatever word you want to call it, side of things, and have been able to see that side come to life through our conversations together as well. But essentially, it's literally a card game. And so it all goes around two key components to start with, and that are nonce cards, which are right here, and target cards. And what you want to do is be able to, so each of these cards has different monsters on them. You want to be able to match up the target and the nonce when they're all laid out. So it's just like the game of memory. Each time that happens, you're going to be able to mine a block. So here's your block cards. For those that know a little bit more, I did overlay the game. So if you look in the corners here, those hashes are actually the hashes from the actual, Genesis block 1, block 2, block 3. So there's little things in there that for the more technically savvy, they might notice. It all comes through rolling a dice. So your mind you can either get a chance to play, or your chain can actually get attacked. So here's our little attack guy. That happens. You have to put one of these attack cards down. If these cards ever get longer than your chain, a 51% attack has happened, game starts over, and back to square one. But assuming that doesn't happen, along the way, each of the players gets to get their own Bitcoin rewards. Like I mentioned earlier, the one with the most technically wins, but you're all winners because you mine the chain. The other factor that can come into play is that the game can get harder. So there are difficulty adjustments that can happen. And so the easiest way to think about it is literally the game of memory with a few other intricacies built in there. Like Brecky mentioned earlier, there is a video on my website to watch it. I am working with Richard James, for those that know him. And he is actually creating the next version of that how-to video as we speak. We're about halfway done. So it's being all the way down in Australia. He's putting his expertise to work. So excited to see what we put together with Richard. So that'll be live on the site soon. But yeah, it's a fun project. Shipping worldwide. So somebody had that question earlier. And anybody who's interested, you're welcome to use SWAN10 as a promo code for 10% off, as well as get your pencils out. There's one free one that's out there. So here's a code for you all. RU839BWE. That's RU839BWE. First one to drop that in the promo code box. Your game will be free. But anybody's welcome to use that promo code SWAN10 for 10% off. Like I mentioned, I'll be at the conference in Miami as well, playing in the Swan Lounge. And it just so happens we are very close to announcing our second project that'll be coming out here. We've already given Daniel the heads up that he's going to have the first go around of my wife and I coming on the podcast and saying exactly what it is. But hopefully in a month or two, we'll be able to do that. So there will be a second thing coming out from the Shamory line.
I love what I'm hearing, man.
That's so exciting.
God, what a cool game. I want to play it. Like, what if I don't let my kids play it and I play it?
We call that Shamory After Dark. Sometimes there's the drinking in there. There can be the high stakes game. So if you find Daniel at the conference, there's going to be some wagering because that's been on his list. Drinking. But that's the nice thing. While this is all focused on kids, it's not a kid's game per se. Just a kid's game, I would say. It's for anybody. Like Daniel said, he's been able to pick up some little things about mining along the way.
Because that part I don't really understand. So this will actually educate me, and I'll be drinking Chenin Rosé while I'll be playing the game, and it'll be even more fun.
It was great. Last Saturday was the first time since the pandemic and everything happened that I was able to. I'm down in San Diego. Go to a Bitcoin meetup here in San Diego. There's about 40 people. I had to people just came over to me, wanted to start playing. Nobody was kids. We were all in our 20s, 30s, 40s. And it was just a great time. Daniel actually zoomed in for a short little session there. But yeah, it's for kids or adults. So anybody's welcome to grab a game.
Have you thought about an app? Have you thought about an app with the game? Because I know a million people would play that, including her dad. He loves playing games on his phone.
Yeah, no, definitely a digital version could definitely be done. And I hopefully can one day make that happen. That's not what the second product is. So the second product is something physical. It is something for that even a younger audience would be able to engage with. I'll leave that, and then we'll see.
I love it.
Sorry, just another idea. Also, making it in different languages would be amazing.
Yeah.
Especially since we ship worldwide. It's something you can.
That's been the crazy thing. The seeing at the places that it's gone. You can there's a map up here that we're supposed to be marking off everywhere it all goes, but Ghana, Nigeria, Australia, France with Daniel, all over the place. It's being sent around. The nice thing, the cards on the back, obviously have the English version. Other than that, there's really nothing else that needs to be translated besides the how-to video. So maybe when we get that, when Richard's done with the new version, we can put some subtitles in different languages to help the play go. But once we have that, then really anybody can pick it up.
That's amazing.
I'm really glad you're getting Richard James to do it. For those watching who don't know, Richard James did Hard Money Film. So you can go to hardmoneyfilm.com. It's a really amazing short film on money and how we got where we are and why Bitcoin fixes everything. So definitely check that out. Kavita, I don't know if we're allowed to bring our own booze, but maybe I'm sensing a wine sponsorship in the Swan Dome at the conference. We're gonna have to talk about that later, maybe.
Yes, no, I would love to provide Chimay Rosé to the Swan Lounge. I will be there. And you guys deserve award-winning rosé for being so smart. Hello.
We do. In the meantime, though, I have another video I think we all need to watch. Micah, you're a movie star kind of, sort of, over here.
Micah, they're talking about you. They're showing the video about the Bitcoin. Can you look? Look, boo-boo. Painting my nails. Okay. That's what.
You want to earn some money?
Yeah.
Okay, are you going to spend your money or are you going to save it?
I'm going to save it.
Do you want your money in US dollars or do you want it in Bitcoin?
I want that and do less on Bitcoin.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I will pay you in Bitcoin, $5 a week, but you have to be helpful. So you have to do 3 helpful things every day. Are you ready?
Yes.
When should we start? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
So you've agreed, and I want you to repeat it back to me, that I want to earn money. Say it.
I want to earn money.
I'm willing to do 3 things every
I'm
day
going to do 3 things every day.
to be helpful.
To be helpful.
And if I do that, I will earn
And if I do that, I will earn
$5 a week in Bitcoin.
$5 of Bitcoin.
A week.
I love how you're clarifying a week, okay? Not every day, a week.
I know. She better share with me when she gets all her stacks.
It's a good deal, Micah. And what's funny is Micah, you're lucky that you have a mom who already knows and cares about Bitcoin. My parents are only starting to get it now, and every time I buy Bitcoin, I've been buying for them too.
Oh, you're such a good son, Becky.
I'm trying,
Yeah, I see these videos and I see you guys talking about how you teach your kids. And to me, I don't have kids yet, but I hope to have kids someday. So I've been literally writing down okay, what do you do as a Bitcoin parent? And the biggest one is don't stop talking about Bitcoin. So I'm really excited for when the time comes to take all of your guys' advice and use it with my own children. That's exciting.
Camilla will be naming her child Bitcoin, whether it's a boy or a girl.
Maybe it might happen. All right, folks, it's time for 6 confirmations, which is a segment from Camilla where she's going to give us 6 of the headlines from this week with a little bit of context, and then we will discuss them. If anyone does have to leave, I know it's late and you have children, you can feel free to go, but we're also would love to have you. I'm going to do a quick little mid-roll swan shill, and then we're going to cut to this video, and then we will discuss afterwards. Hi, Lily. All right, 1 second, folks. All right, everybody, real quick before we get back to the show, a reminder that Swan Bitcoin is the easiest and best way to buy Bitcoin in the United States. Sign up today. You can get started in as little as 5 minutes from zero to buying Bitcoin. We're live, as I said, in all 50 states, including U.S. territories like Puerto Rico. We are also available internationally via wire for high net worth individuals and corporations. We have Swan Private. You can go there at swanbitcoin.com/private. And of course, Jan's book for free. Go to swanbitcoin.com/free book. Alrighty, folks, it is now time for 6 confirmations. Let me get 6 confirmations ready. Sorry, give me a second, half a second. There we go. All right. And Camilla, do you want to introduce this, or should we just let it go? Just let it roll. Alrighty. Give me 1 second. Let's do it this way. There we go.
For our first confirmation, this Norwegian billionaire went from being a Bitcoin hater to a Bitcoin hodler. What made him change his mind? So get this. Øystein Stray-Spetalen, a renowned Norwegian investor, went from being completely against Bitcoin and questioning the energy expenditure of its security to becoming an asset hodler. According to him, the trigger for this decision was to also see Norwegian billionaire Ing Roke entering this market with force. That is a kind of FOMO for billionaires. This is completely out of FOMO because he said, when I also read that Ing Roke had gotten into Bitcoin, it was pretty obvious. I can't bear to see him making money and not me. And this is how billionaires get into Bitcoin. Confirmation numero dos. Americans will be able to pay with Bitcoin through PayPal and online stores. So, people in the US will be able to spend Bitcoin to pay in online commerce establishments in the country using PayPal services. Merchants, however, will receive fiat. The idea is that the 29 million PayPal users will be able to use this feature in the coming months. According to the CEO of the company, Dan Schulman, this is one more step in the process of monetization of Bitcoin, that you will now be able to buy things. Do you actually think people are going to be buying things with Bitcoin, or do you think that they'll continue to hodl? Confirmation number 3, Tether presents report that supports its reservations. So we're just going to smash this Tether FUD right now. The issuing company of the stablecoin USDT, Tether, published a report in which it verifies that it had $35 billion in support of its parity token, at least during the past month. The report, signed by Moore Cayman, examined Tether's holdings as of February 28, 2021, finding that the company had at least $35.28 billion in total assets. The figure matches the amount of USDT in circulation, suggesting that complaints against inconsistencies between endorsement and issuance are no longer valid. So, crushed. Confirmation number 4, BlackRock Fund bought Bitcoin futures in January. Regulatory filings show. Asset management giant BlackRock revealed Wednesday that one of its funds held some Bitcoin futures as of the end of January. Per the filing, the aggregated national amount of the contracts was approximately $6.1 million on the date of expiration, with an appreciation value of roughly $360,000. In mid-February, BlackRock's CIO, Rick Rader, said that the firm was starting to dabble in Bitcoin during the appearance on CNBC. My sense is the technology has evolved and the regulation has evolved to the point where a number of people find it should be a part of their portfolio. So that's what's driving the price up, he remarked at the time of the interview. Confirmation number 5, Goldman Sachs is close to offering Bitcoin and other digital assets to its wealth management clients. The bank aims to begin offering investments in the emerging asset class in the second quarter, according to Mary Rich, who was recently named global head of digital assets for Goldman's private and wealth management division. Goldman is looking at ultimately offering a full spectrum of investments in Bitcoin and digital assets, whether that's through the physical Bitcoin, derivatives, or traditional investment vehicles, she said. Some Goldman clients feel like they're sitting at the dawn of a new internet in some ways and are looking for ways to participate in the space. So we know that a huge wave of money is going to start coming in real soon. And last but not least, confirmation number 6, burrito or Bitcoin and Teletubbies. Chipotle and Teletubbies caught our attention this week as Chipotle put Bitcoin on their Twitter bio and the Teletubbies posted the whole crew with laser eyes. Chipotle's mission was to offer customers a chance to win $200,000 worth of Bitcoin and free burritos as part of the promotion for National Burrito Day. It was said that the reaction to the promotion was incredibly overwhelming and that people love burritos and they certainly love Bitcoin as well, which is completely true. Unfortunately, the Teletubbies were just jumping into the Bitcoin bandwagon as a marketing tactic to create an April Fool's prank of them creating their own crypto called Tubby Coins. And they were just doing it for funs and laughs and wanted to bring awareness to this page where they can make donations to a charity of their choice. So I was pretty bummed about the Teletubbies because, hey, Teletubbies with laser eyes was honestly my favorite confirmation of the week.
All right, that was a fun week, huh? I will say I am in favor of donating to charity, but Tubby Coin, not a fan. I'm not a fan of orange washing and using Bitcoin for your own purposes like that, but is what it is. Camilla, thank you so much for that. To our guests, does anyone have any thoughts on any of the week's events that we were just discussing, be it the Teletubbies or even whether Camilla looks good as a Viking? I don't know. What thoughts do you have?
I think Camilla looks amazing, and she delivered that beautifully. Bomb job, Camilla.
Thank you.
One of my thoughts around the Chipotle one was not enough people have been to San Diego to eat a real burrito with the sense of the excitement that there was with Chipotle burrito. So if you guys want real burritos, come down here to San Diego and you'll find the real ones.
I've been to San Diego twice, and I've only had one burrito there. It was at a place called Trujillo's.
Okay, yeah.
And it was pretty good. I have to say, it's better than Chipotle, that's for sure. But they don't accept Bitcoin, so
you can find ones, I'm sure.
Yes. So it was an eventful week as usual. The weeks seem to be getting more and more eventful. The news seems to be getting more and more bullish. The Goldman Sachs news I thought was really huge. But we'll see what happens. The price needs to catch up, in my opinion. You know, we're only at what, $58,000 Bitcoin, something like that. We should be at like $1 million Bitcoin already. So we're nearing the end of the show. It's close to Daniel's bedtime. Yes, buy the dip.
It's exciting.
Lily, was that financial advice that you were giving us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not financial advice from a 3-year-old.
I would be super surprised if someone was taking financial advice from Lily, but if they do, they're probably the smartest, in my opinion. My personal opinion.
Actually, on the longer Facebook video of the Bitcoin episode, I actually had do not take financial advice from stuffed animals in 3-year-olds.
What's really funny is on Twitter, there are a lot of anonymous accounts on Twitter. So a lot of people end up taking financial advice from cartoon characters who they don't even know who they are. So taking financial advice from a 3-year-old who knows Bitcoin doesn't seem that far-fetched to me, to be perfectly honest. All right, it's near the end of the show. I've taken up way too much of your time, but I'm going to ask another 60 seconds of each of you. We have a segment that we call Swan Force Fridays. And what we do with Swan Force Fridays is we put our guests on the spot. We give them 60 seconds to give us their best Bitcoin pitch. And the fun part about this, what I think is fun, is you get to choose who you're going to pitch. So it could be Vladimir Putin, it could be one of the Teletubbies, it could be your mom, your brother, your sister, a group of people, anybody. And this is optional, but if you'd like to go, let's do this. Show of hands, who would like to go first? Otherwise, wonderful. Scott's going to go. All right, give me half a second. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. 1 second. I need our famous countdown timer that needs to get revamped. All right. All right, Scott, we're going to put you up, give you 60 seconds. Will you tell everyone who you're going to pitch?
Sure. I'm actually just going to pitch all the parents and grandparents out there at once.
I love it. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
So, to all the parents and grandparents out there, I think we all know that as the time comes, there's going to be a massive amount of wealth that's going to be passed on to the generations behind you, including some of the kids that are sitting on this screen. And you may be thinking, where's all that going to go? And I have a quick story from a couple weeks ago when I was at the park with my daughter. I was there. There was about 5 kids, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, playing capture in some way. One kid got captured, and he started bargaining his release in V-Bucks, which is obviously a currency from a video game. If you don't think those kids are going to be native to something like Bitcoin, by the time they're going to be in charge of money and where it's all going, you're either ignorant or just behind the bush somewhere. So think about what the kids are into. Think about the kids that are on the screen today. My daughter, Charlotte, this is the wave of the future. Even if it's just a little bit, 1%, 10%, whatever, 0.5%, $10 a week, the $5 a week for allowance, dabble in it a little and you won't regret it.
Boom. With 3 seconds to spare. Well done, Scott.
There we go.
All right.
That's fire, straight bars.
All right. Who's up next? Don't make me pick. I hate choosing people. All right.
I think Micah wants to pitch.
Micah wants to pitch. All right. After Daniel, Micah's got the mic. All right, Daniel, who are you going to be pitching?
Well, you guys know I always ask the question, if you had one orange pill, who would you give it to and why?
At the end of the show.
At the end of the show, yeah. I've had so many great different answers. It's really difficult to choose, but I'm going to go with the Lama, the Dalai Lama. Orange robe, striking. I mean, he's already wearing orange, and he could, if he were to take a pill and spread the word of love, then that's my pitch. And Lauren's going to help me with the tools that the Lama has at his disposal to help pill as many people as possible with that Bitcoin orange pill. Okay, Lauren.
All right, in 3, 2,
Just got
1.
This one first.
Okay.
Okay, hold up, go. Okay, so Mr. Lama, Dalai, whatever you go by, this is a message to why you should buy Bitcoin. And you should buy Bitcoin after reading this book by Andrew Edson, one of the Swan Lounge member, part of the Swan team, the best place to buy Bitcoin ever across all 3 US states. If I'm not mistaken, Brecky, I think you've said that before. And once you've figured out why to buy Bitcoin, you might want to delve a little deeper and figure out how we invented Bitcoin, or the Satoshi Nakamoto team or person or woman, man, with this, which you can pick up free at Swan. Then,
Daddy's book.
once you've stacked your stats, you can read about how you should choose life with this book coming to you by myself. I hope that will help any of you out there watching this show understand more about Bitcoin and what it can mean for us, for our families, for our loved one, kids, for our communities around the world. It's so that's a big plea, and peace. Thank you. Do you want to say thank you?
Oh yes, thank you.
So that was more of a teaser pitch, but I'll take it. It wasn't quite a pitch. It was more like a tough love, like you got to go pitch yourself on Bitcoin kind of thing, which I think is true. You can lead someone to the Bitcoin rabbit hole, but they got to dive in themselves. And I think I've tweeted at the Dalai Lama about Bitcoin once or twice because I'm a meditator and I'm a big fan of his. And I really would love to see him on the Bitcoin train. And as the Dalai Lama says, he doesn't really say this. If you want others to be happy, buy them some Bitcoin. But if you want to be happy, buy others some Bitcoin. Anyway, we're going to swap you out, Daniel and Lauren. Thank you for that. Kavita, is this going to be your Bitcoin pitch or Micah's?
Micah's pitch. Micah's pitching to the universe What do you want to say? What are you going to say, boo-boo? Look at the camera and talk. What would you like? We don't have much time. Come on.
I would like saying Bitcoin.
You would like to share Bitcoin? So you need a lot of Bitcoin to share Bitcoin, right? And why do you want to share Bitcoin? What do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with the Bitcoin? Micah, what do you want to do with the Bitcoin, boo-boo?
You've never played with a slide viewer, have you? It's incredibly fun.
She wants, it's like really annoying. She's already damaged my table. She wants to have lots of Bitcoin and teach a lot of kids about Bitcoin so that they can have a beautiful life, right? And they can have freedom, right? Is that what you want to do? Sort of, kind of? Okay, well, I'll help you with that. How about that?
We'll take it.
I think what's so beautiful about all of you guys as well is that you guys are pioneers when it comes to kids as well. And we're talking about the next generation to come. And the fact that you guys are giving them already this amazing education makes me super hopeful for the future, that it really will be a brighter orange future for them and for the generations to come. So really appreciate what you guys are doing with your kids. It's awesome. It's awesome to see.
Definitely.
That was my
pitch. Camilla, you get to do another pitch later when Thevin gets on the show next time. All right, Pasha, are you going to do a Bitcoin pitch for us? And if so, who are you going to pitch today?
I don't know. I feel really weird doing like a pitch for people. I never like really kind of, you know, I never try to get people interested in it. It's just like, it's more about like educating. I think like education is like the best pitch you can give to someone. And like, I think a lot of people like kind of get scared by like, I don't know where to start. And I think the best thing to do is just to kind of like have them download a wallet, set up a wallet, and then just to send them like 10, 20 bucks of Bitcoin, and for them to just dive right in into the ecosystem. I mean, that's how I started. That's how, like, I guess my pitch is more of like a shout out to Jan for getting me set up, you know, and he just kind of like back in 2017, he just like posted something on Facebook, I think, like whoever wants, you know, to dive in, just set up a wallet and I'll send you 20 bucks. And that's how I got in. And I think that's like the best way to do it. Is just like, who wants in, guys? So yeah, thanks to Jan. I guess like if I were to pitch, maybe to just like female, like women in general, I think, you know, it's great seeing a lot of women in this space, and I think we can, you know, we can see more. Where's Oprah? We need Oprah on Bitcoin, right?
If you get a Bitcoin, if you get a Bitcoin, if you get a Bitcoin. We do need that. All right, everyone. It was a really fantastic show, and I want to thank you all for sharing your time and your families and your stories with us. We're here every Friday. We do this show. We lounge. We try to keep it fun. We try to educate. So thank you again. Go buy Shamory at shamory.com. Go to oncebitten.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Kavita, I've forgotten the website for your wine, but please tell everyone.
Chane Rose, ChaneRose.com. And definitely buy Bitcoin while drinking, and you'll probably buy more than you intended to.
Actually, you know what? Some of my best buys were when I was in a club with my friends and I was drinking too much. And I don't like going clubbing. So I'd be at the bar and I would open up an app that I don't want to talk about because I don't use them anymore. And I bought some good things. I bought some good things back then. All right. And Pasha.
I've done tipsy buys too, by the way. I've done tipsy buys.
We're not opposed to those here. We're not opposed to those. Pasha, where can we find Lily's show and anything else you'd like to share before we go?
Sure. Lily's show is on Twitter, twitter.com/LilyNightShow. We also have a Facebook page, and we're working on setting up a YouTube channel. It's a little tricky with their kids policy, so we're trying to still figure that out, like, you know, whether it fits the guidelines, because we don't want it to be like a kids only show. So But Twitter and Facebook is ready to go. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who is watching. You know the drill. Go to swanbitcoin.com, sign up, start stacking, take control of your future. That's what we're all doing here, people. That's why we Bitcoin. We want to build a brighter, more orange future filled with Bitcoin, filled with sound money. I don't want to do an ending show. You know the drill. Swanbitcoin.com. It's easy. You can stack automatically. You can stack instantly. You can stack internationally via wire. We've got so many exciting things coming up soon. Go to Bitcoin TV. I keep forgetting. We just relaunched Bitcoin TV. We've got an all new interface. It looks amazing. We've got the price ticker and the market cap, and we've got all sorts of information. We've got the what's playing along the bottom. You know what? The heck with it. I'm just going to show you Bitcoin TV right now, because afterwards, after you're done with your Swan Lounge fix, you got to go to Bitcoin TV. Hold on one second. Where is it? TV. There it is. Okay, 1 second. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Share screen, application window. There it is. Bitcoin TV. Alrighty, folks. This is it. Bitcoin TV. Right now, you can see. Hold on. There we go. See, we got VJ Boyapati and Lynn Alden. We've got price, market cap, sats per dollar, the change, the block height, what's playing. We used to not have what's playing. It was very confusing. People were like, what am I watching? We'd have to answer all these questions. We've also got a lineup that you can go see, the full lineup of everything that's playing. We'll be adding new content regularly, hopefully some live content. Look how much content we got. So much content. That's actually not all of it. There's more, but I'm not going to make you look at that. So go to bitcointv.network, watch a 24/7 stream of content. We've got Lily's show on there. We've got all sorts of amazing videos. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things. And then we've got the Bitcoin conference coming up in June. We are going to have a giant dome covered in Swan logos and all sorts of other fun stuff inside the dome. We're going to be playing Shamory. We're going to be doing live recordings of the Once Bitten podcast and a million other podcasts. There's going to be so much going on at the Bitcoin conference that we are not going to have time to do everything, which is going to be a real shame. And it's going to be so much fun. So I hope to see you there. We've got plenty of time before that, and I will be giving you the spiel about the conference probably every single show until the conference. That's all I got, folks. Have a great Friday. Think about your families. Buy Bitcoin for your families. Buy Bitcoin for yourself. And, we've got someone else joining us. 1 second. Yeah, we've got more family. Oh, man, look at those pinstripe pants. Kid's got style. Got style. All right, everybody.
Hi, this is Maverick. Maverick, can you say Bitcoin? Okay, can you say Bitcoin? Buy Bitcoin and get Swan.
Close enough.
All he does is try to get away from me. Okay. So.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
Have a great weekend, everyone.